Hi everyone, my name is Jade and I usually make videos about veganism and minimalism, but obviously we're in a really weird, scary place at the moment all over the world, and I wanted to make some videos that would be really productive and kind of help people, as that is always my goal with my videos. And I'm someone that has worked for myself. I've owned my own business for the past 4 years and I've worked from home. So over that time I have really learned what is really productive for me, what is very unproductive for me, and I thought it would be helpful to share some working from home tips for everyone who has suddenly found themselves working from home and is not used to that kind of environment, because it definitely does take a lot of getting used to, and just the ways in which you work is definitely a lot more challenging, especially if you are supposed to be working with other people but you can't just see them and pop over to their desk and ask them a question. And I actually, after 4 years of working for myself from home, started an in-office job last week. So I had 1 week at my office and then now I am back working from home, still working for that company but from home. So that was very strange timing. But anyway, before we get into the tips, I just wanted to say that I've been sharing a lot of resources on my Instagram of ways that we can help our community and all really rally together in this time. So if, like me, you're lucky enough to be young and healthy, have like no kind of health conditions that put you in a high risk group, then I'm sure, and I know there are a lot of us that really want to help and just feel helpless and don't really know the ways in which we can help. So I've compiled a list of resources of ways that you can get involved. So I will link my Instagram down below and I'll also just link all of the resources. So with that all being said, let's get into the tips. My first tip is to get up, shower and get ready in the morning. So this might sound really obvious to some people, and to other people, if you're a bit more like me, you'd be a bit like, what is the point of working from home if I have to get ready, you know, as if I was leaving the house? And trust me, I have spent many days over the past 4 years of just getting up, going to the toilet, grabbing my laptop and just getting straight to work from bed in my pajamas and just staying there all day. And while that definitely can feel nice, especially if you're used to having to get up really early and kind of get dressed in uncomfortable clothes for work every day if you're in a really corporate office environment, in the long term I just don't find it productive if I'm kind of not ready, I don't feel good about myself, and just spending that even 5-10 minutes to get up in the morning, have a shower, wash your hair if you want to, if you're feeling extra clean, and getting dressed, even if you do just get straight back into loungewear, comfy clothes. Like I'm wearing a jumper and bright pink tracksuit bottoms. I don't think I can lift my legs that high. Ooh. So you don't have to get dressed into your fancy office clothes. I'm not suggesting that you get dressed into like a full suit to just go and sit at your dining room table, although if that's your thing, go for it. But I think just getting up, showering, you know, obviously brushing your teeth, all of that stuff, and then getting into fresh clothes really sets you up to start your day. On some days, if I just feel like it, or if I want to be extra productive, I'll also put makeup on and curl my hair, which is what I did today. And I'll be honest, I only did it because I knew I was filming this video. I think on other days, I just would not bother to make that effort. I'm just a bit too lazy. But I do feel a lot better today than I did yesterday, for example, where I still showered and got changed, but, you know, let my hair go wild, no makeup. So I think if you can be bothered and get into the routine of making that effort, it will really make you feel better. My next tip is to make use of the time that you would normally spend commuting to do something that makes you feel really good at the start of the day, whether that's something productive or just something that you enjoy. So when I am commuting to work and I'm really busy, I do not take time to have breakfast in the morning because I'm always in such a rush. And I think having breakfast is just such a nice thing to just, you know, make yourself breakfast, sit down. So I'll just make something really easy like a yogurt with granola or porridge or a smoothie, but just taking that time to just sit down and eat it before you start working can feel really nice. Also, you could fit in some exercise and really start your way off positively. I have yet to try that, but I hear it is great. Or even like read a book or just do a little hobby, maybe do some drawing, just something that you really enjoy, so you've got a little bit of time for you before you start your workday. My next tip is to designate a specific workspace in your house that you just use for that, and then when you leave it, you kind of leave your work behind. I think this is something that is so important. I cannot emphasize this enough, because this is something that I did not give myself in all of the years that I was working from home. So we had a spare bedroom, which I kind of used as an office, but it ended up just being a spare bedroom where my family would come and stay, and then also a dump room for just like all of our random crap. And I ended up never working in there. So I would either work from bed, from the sofa, from our kitchen island or the dining room table, but I didn't have just one space, which meant it was really difficult to differentiate my time between work and like home time. And that means it can feel like you're always working, but you're also like never properly working, if you know what I mean. So I think having a space, it doesn't have to be a whole room, because obviously most of us don't have a spare room set up in our house, especially if you don't usually work from home. But for this period where Matt and I are both working from home, I have cleared out the dining room, just made it a really simple place. I've put some candles on to kind of set the mood, make it feel nice. And I just lay out on the table whatever I need for that day. So maybe my laptop, notebooks and pens. And then I make sure nothing else is on the dining room table. So that can be a really focused kind of workspace. And also, as we're doing a lot of video calls at the moment, we both have like the piano wall backdrop for our videos, because it's the only place of our house that does not have clutter in the background and looks semi-professional. My final tip is something that I have been really getting a lot of at the moment, and that is to get outside and get some fresh air. Obviously, depending on where you are in the world at the moment and how far along the spread is, you might not be allowed to go outside, which I'm like dreading if/when we get to that point, because that must be really hard. So if you can't do that, then maybe doing just some exercise in your house, or even just opening up your window to get some fresh air, because I noticed, especially on the first few days, I was feeling just really claustrophobic, which is weird because I have worked from home for years, but I think almost just that thought of knowing that we shouldn't be outside much, or we might not be allowed to go outside in the near future, was just making me feel very like panicky and just giving me a bit of cabin fever. Like I really wanted to get out of the house. So every single day I have been making sure to take my dogs for 1 or 2 really long walks and just let them off the lead. They absolutely love it. They're just running around and just getting that fresh air, and I've just been enjoying walks more than ever at the moment. I think something like this really makes you appreciate things that in regular life you might take for granted. Like sometimes on the weekend, Matt and I will both be like, oh, we can't be bothered to walk the dogs, and then maybe just one of us will go, when now I'm like, I will take every opportunity I can to get outside. And I think it also just helps clear your mind, especially if you can maybe do that in your lunch break. So those are all of my tips on how to be as productive as possible whilst working from home. If you have any other tips, please do leave them in the comments and we can all share with each other. And as I mentioned, I will also be leaving some resources for how we can all help each other and our local community. I am going to be trying to upload a lot more regularly, seeing as I am at home with a lot of spare time on my hands, and I know I've really been enjoying watching a lot of YouTube at this time when we can't really go out and do other things. So I hope it was helpful, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.